For a short period in 2011, the Texas Panhandle was the driest spot in the nation, with less rainfall than Death Valley. Temperatures here hit 114 degrees. And this spring, after 3 years of record-breaking drought, daylight often turned to dark when windswept dirt filled the air. It was reminiscent of the Dust Bowl in the 30s, and another devastating dry spell 2 decades later that hung on for 7 years and caused hundreds to give up and leave. Remarkably, it was those earlier catastrophes that spurred folks to action back in the 50s and has helped the Panhandle and South Plains survive this latest drought by drawing groundwater from one of the world's largest aquifers, the Ogallala.
Purchasing water, certainly in the Texas Panhandle, the Texas High Plains, has been going on for a long time. In Amarillo's case, large-scale acquisitions were occurring back in the 1950s.
The people here were among the first to consider water a commodity and to create long-term water plans using a state law called the Rule of Capture to buy and sell underground supplies, laying claim to it much like oil and natural gas.
Very obvious. It is important for our residents. It's important for our economy. It's important to the industry that's based in and around Amarillo.
In addition to the water it owns, Amarillo also gets millions of gallons a day from the Canadian River Municipal Water Authority. CRMWA, as it's called, was created in the early 50s and delivers water to 11 communities in the Panhandle and South Plains. For decades, CRMWA's water supply flowed from an area lake, but that began to dry up in 2001.
That happens to be about the time that Lake Meredith took a dive. Basically, the inflows from Lake Meredith started dropping about that time, and so we could see the writing on the wall. So in 5 and 6, we started buying more groundwater rights. By the end of 2006, we had more groundwater than anybody else in the nation, any other entity.
And Satterwhite's group wasn't finished buying water. In 2011, CRMWA and the city of Amarillo brokered a huge deal with Boone Pickens Mesa Water. How big? Well, together, the city and water authority paid a little more than $100 million to the Texas Oilman for 26 million acre-feet of water. That translates into an estimated 3 trillion gallons.
You recall we were already the largest owner in the nation. Now we're twice that. The timing started off kind of lucky because it was about water quality, but man, the timing was right, as it turned out, because we'd be in trouble without the groundwater.
While owning the rights to water may be good, the real cost is in the delivery, and that Pickens water is not flowing yet.
Decades in the future, there will be a big decision for Amarillo to make, and that decision will be putting in the infrastructure to go get it. The true cost of water is rarely actually buying the water. It's the cost of bringing it to where you need it. In today dollars, pipelines big enough to bring that water to town in the amount that we need it today would be roughly $1 million a mile.
And how many miles?
90 miles, depending on how you track your route to get here.
And there's another cost to using the Ogallala. Unlike other aquifers, this one is non-renewable. Once the water is gone, it's gone. Recent studies show that even in wet years, the Ogallala is capable of refilling only 1/4 of an inch every 12 months.
1/4 of an inch, that's not much recharge. The rains that we're having here today, the Ogallala won't see that for 1,000 or more years. It takes forever for that water to get down there. When we use that water, it's gone, in our opinion.
Today, a little more than 90% of the water taken from the Ogallala in the Panhandle is pumped by those in agribusiness. And as supplies dwindle, many farmers are moving to dryland production. But the long-term outlook for area communities is better, even with projected population growth. Both Atkinson and Satterwhite agree the water should continue to flow to cities here for 150 years. But conservation is important.
Usage is depletion. I think the policy issue, and I would say public policy, but it's bigger than that. The policy issue for all of us is how do we manage and most effectively and efficiently use that resource.
I've heard the comment, don't waste a good drought. I mean, you need to really use this time to hammer it in that that water is critical and we need to conserve it.